Dude, how funny would it be if some kid like that went up to you and goes, "Hey, what are you doing out of your camp?"
I thought I put you away.
There's this boy, right? His name is James Leninger. I'm gonna say that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. The authority on that right here. He's been a fan of planes since he was 2 years old, okay? As he's growing up, one day, he wakes up screaming in the middle of the night.
Oh, bro, I'm about to ruin this article, bro.
You know this too?
Yeah, I do. Oh no, well, I don't know this specific. I think I know what it is.
No, ruin the video, ruin the video.
Can I?
Why would you want to do this? This is your own fucking channel. Why would you ruin videos here?
All right, tell me. Let me
I don't fucking get it, dude. It's like literally his channel.
What you want me to do, Ryan? You want me to act it out? All right, I'm gonna act it out.
Yeah, act it out.
Mommy, there's a plane. Is that what we're doing?
That's what you read?
So he wakes up screaming. Ah! And then, what happens next?
I'm gonna crash.
He has PTSD from the plane?
You know, we're gonna need to rehearse this before the fucking cameras start rolling. Otherwise, I don't know how to pick up where you're leaving off. Like, you're in like half of the story already. You know what I mean?
He told me
Act it out as he says it, not ahead of it.
Oh, I'm like, we're like farther in the story.
All right, sorry.
I'm starting like he woke up in the middle of the night. Plane!
Okay. Let's start.
Imagine that you don't know what happened.
All right, what happened?
The young boy said he was on a plane.
I'm playing.
The young boy said he was in a plane that had been shot down by another aircraft bearing the symbol of a red sun, which James' parents interpreted as a Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Mommy, them Japs got me, mommy. I can say it because I'm Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was this speculation, as crazy as it sounds, that his parents thought that their son had been reincarnated right after he started speaking about memories of being someone named James McCready Huston.
Dude, their parents, when you have kids, you shouldn't be doing that much drugs anymore.
Yeah, dude.
Here's the thing though, as it turns out, Huston was a World War II fighter pilot from Pennsylvania and died more than 50 years ago in Japan.
Wow.
His cause of death, being knocked out of the sky by a Japanese aircraft.
Wow.
So he had nightmares?
He had a nightmare about this, right? So James' mother, Andrea, said her son would also scream,
Kamikaze! Boss, the plane!
almost. His son would also scream, airplane crash, on fire, can't get out, help, during his sleep. James also told his parents that he'd flown an aircraft called the Corsair, having set off from a boat named Natoma during World War II.
Yeah. Wait, how old is this kid?
This kid, well, he started when he was like 2, but then as he started growing up, he was still just having these dreams.
When he was 2, this started happening?
He had a fascination with planes and then started like talking about this stuff, right? After carrying out some research, they discovered that Huston had actually been on a plane called Natoma Bay when it was hit on March 3rd, 1945.
What the fuck?
James' dad, Bruce, said that as part of their research, he and Andrea wrote a letter to Huston's sister, Ann Barron, explaining what their son was going through. And Barron ended up believing that James also was a reincarnation of her older brother, saying the child was so convincing and coming up with all the things that there is no way in the world he could have known.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Where is it? Here's a photo. Here's a photo of...
Like when you were saying all this in my head, I'm like, dude, the parents in on it. I was trying to find any way.
This is James
Trying to get a check.
Huston.
Yeah.
Huston from Pennsylvania, who died 50 years earlier in World War II in Japan. Literally a dude that exists, explained exactly as the kid had in his memories. Psychologist Jim Tucker said that Huston's plane crashed in the exact same manner that young James had described. Both named James, that's also very slightly interesting. James Huston's plane crashed exactly the way that James Leninger had described, hitting the engine, exploding into fire, crashing into the water, and quickly sinking. And then what happened, and when that happened, the pilot of the plane next to his was Jack Larson. When asked whether James' story could have been a figment of his imagination, Tucker replied, "If we had never been able to verify that what the child said matched somebody who died, then you could certainly just mark it down as being fantasy. But in cases like James, the previous person, James Huston, was so obscure. I mean, he was a pilot who was killed 50 years before, and he was from Pennsylvania, and James was in Louisiana. I mean, it seems absolutely impossible that he could have somehow gained this information as a 2-year-old through some sort of normal means.
Yeah.
Damn. But how would you, as a parent, like, okay, tell me that story again. Let me research it.
Yeah.
Or, how?
What would you do?
Well, I think the tough part is when they meet the actual sister, and if he's able to ask questions like, "What's your favorite food?" and he's like,
Jet my mouth.
that if he's able to like say things like that, and it blows the sister's mind. Rolls. Yeah, like wow, only my brother would know this.
I never got to say goodbye, dude. That would like. Dude.
Oh, did they meet up?
They wrote a letter to the sister, and I'm guessing they either met up or had some sort of conversations in order to like verify some things, because the kid James was explaining shit to the sister, and the sister was like, "How would you know those details?"
But he didn't know that was his sister, so how much does he know? He didn't look at her to be like, "Hey sis."
Yeah, I don't think the article wrote that he said, "Hey sis." Yeah.
Because you know there's a lot of reincarnation stories like this where like they would see the family members and then they'll just be like, "Oh, that's my sister." Or like crazy shit. Yeah, fuck it.
Anybody here believe in reincarnation?
I kind of do a little bit,
Yeah.
but I want to see some real shit. Like this kid, he sees like minorities, and he only knows how to call them by racial slurs.
Yup.
And then you're like, "Wait a second." He was like, "I'm sorry, it's just from my time. That's the names of you guys."
Yeah. He
You know?
calls a Japanese man a Jap to
Yeah.
their face.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a dirty Jap.
He only knows
He's
people
like,
by
"Hey,
racial
hey, hey,
slurs.
I'm a
Yeah,
Chinese.
how come only the good stuff is left over?
Yeah. There's no bad stuff. Come on.
I'm surprised they didn't turn this into a movie and like dragged it
This
on.
actually was in a Netflix documentary. Yeah.
Wow, I knew it. Paycheck.
Interesting. The parents have.
James was one of the subjects of Netflix documentary Surviving Death.
It's kind of funny because you really would believe if a guy like that was reincarnated into a kid, he'd probably be on the grittier side of shit, seeing as the maximum racist someone could ever be is when they're fighting that race in a war.
That's true. In Japan, in their country.
So 90% of your dialogue should be slurs.
That fool should have woke up and then, "Mommy, those dirty Japs got me, mommy." And she's like, "What?"
I'm never eating sushi again, Mom.
Maybe they just left that out of the documentary because they're like, we can't just call people Japs on this.
But that's what they're called.
Netflix exists.
Yeah, the kid can't wrap his head around it. He's like, "Why'd you edit me? I didn't say that."
They just keep bleeping them.
That's not what James Huston said.
Shut the fuck up, you're 2.
Imagine like a little girl rolling up to you saying, "I'm your like I was your grandma."
If somebody rolled up to me and was like, "I was your former grandma," I'd be like, "Well, that's crazy." But if they started saying fucking proper nouns, like actual names and fucking like the way that
That's
they
a
ask
trip.
or something like that,
Yeah.
that would fuck me up.
Like, let me call Netflix really quick, get a check, and then we can tell me the rest of the story.
Like, imagine this kid's just like, "Oh, my name was James, blah blah Huston. I was on the Natoma Corsair, blah blah," and just starting throwing out pronouns out and shit. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
Dude, how funny would it be if some kid like that went up to you and goes, "Hey, what are you doing out of your camp?"
I thought I put you away.
Shouldn't you be at the San Antonio racetrack?
What would you say to this kid?
I'll be like, "What?"
kid goes up to you, "Did we lose the war?"
Why are they everywhere? And he's like, oh.
Maybe that's what that kid at the projects was. You ching ching chong.
Shut up, you ching ching chong.
He's reincarnated from the war, dude.
He's Jack Larson, the other guy.
Shut up, you ching ching chong.
I'm Jack Larson, you ching ching chong. Oh, fuck. Welcome back, sir. Thank you for your service.
Here's a Purple Heart.
You're goddamn right.
Ching chong. I do believe in reincarnation because sometimes I feel like, yo, this dude, it's his first round being a human being. I'm so convinced that you were a pigeon in your past life because you don't know how to be a human, and you are kind of like pretty much an animal.
But if you think you made it to a human, that means you were a good pigeon.
Yeah.
Like you would go up the ranks, right? I think you started as a butterfly or a worm, butterfly, chimpanzee.
You did right,
good
yeah.
pigeon, human.
So this guy was a good fighter pilot, and that's why he got reincarnated into a 2-year-old.
Maybe.
That's all you gotta do is put him in a room.
I grew up in a Buddhist family too, so whatever my small mind could grasp at the time as a kid with reincarnation, I was like, oh shit, dude, if I fucking fuck up, I'm gonna come back as a grasshopper or some shit. Somebody's gonna step on me, right? And for some reason, I was convinced that I wasn't gonna do well enough to come back as a human, so I was just like hoping for at least like maybe like a dog or something like that. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I would love to be a Pomeranian.
Yeah, I'd love to be a pet where a family could still take me in and treat me good.
Coming back as a dog is good.
Yeah, that's a good life, bro.
Depends.
Being a dog? I mean,
Michael Vick dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Well, imagine coming back as like a tree.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, that's nice, but you're like also like this is it.
No, but you get to go like you get to stretch.
But imagine like people walking up pissing on you, or the dog.
Yeah, I'd be flattered.
A fucking bird just picks through your fucking body and makes a nest in your. You're like, yo, dog, come on, man.
You're not gonna die, so like you have to wait a long time to get reincarnated.
Yeah, until somebody fucking flicks a cigarette in your area.
Oh yeah.
And then someone burns you. You're like, fucking bird head.
And then you come back as another tree and you're like, fuck, I gotta grow again.
Dude, the
That's
best.
like Groot.
It's hard to mess up as a tree though. That's probably why to come back.
That's true. You can't really fuck up, right?
You didn't put enough shade out there.
The best test for this kid to see if he's legit, just put him in a room full of Japanese people. Like, what do you feel right now?
He's sweating.
Anger,
He balls his little.
hate. Whoa! Holy shit!
Get me in a plane quick.
Can I borrow that pen?
I don't know. It came over me.
So, have you seen the documentary yet?
I have not. Have you seen the documentary?
Nah, I don't watch dumb shit like that.
So, hey, what do you think? Do you think this is bullshit?
All right, my skepticism in me. I don't think he named any names. I think he just woke up, named the plane and all this shit, and his dad fucking filled in. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
One of the theories is like, so
That's what I think too.
When the parents got like, they were just like, man, what is this? They went to the library and then they got all these like World War II books and things, and they started like looking at stuff, and the kids were pointing out, oh, that was the plane I was in, or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they're like, so a lot of the skeptics that are like, they saw the story, they're like, well, yeah, you fed him the fucking
Yeah,
information.
that's what I
you
think.
gave him all these books when you're curious, and then he memorized the fucking plane.
And then he picked up the racism for Japanese people afterwards.
After the
Because
fact.
there's never gonna be any proof that he said all those names.
Yeah.
There's only proof that he did say he woke up and.
Lie detector test. Lie detector test.